Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how you can enable iMessage on a Hackintosh Mac or a VMware Mac installation. A few of you may know that recently I had a couple of issues getting this to work on my VMware images, and I put something in on my latest build which should fix it. And what this is going to do in this video is show you how you can use an installer I've created to actually enable it on any kind of installation in VMware that isn't necessarily one of my images. And if you want to use this on an actual Hackintosh, I recommend you're very careful with it because it will change your bootloader. So make sure you know what you're doing and make sure that you've backed everything up in case something does go wrong, because if anything does go wrong, I'm not really responsible for it because this is designed for VMware, but in theory it should work with Hackintosh as well, so it's up to you really. And so there'll be a download link in the description where you can download a zip file containing these files here. The bottom two I needed to fix your VMX file, and the top one is a DMG file which you need to get into your VM somehow. So either download it in your VM or just like convert it to an ISO and connect it up or something. And all you want to do first is, if I just go to my VM, this is my 10.8 build, which a lot of you know and will have used, that didn't have iMessage support, so I will just demonstrate that. You can see I've already moved the DMG across. So messages, and if I try set up my iMessage account, oops, I think that was wrong, sorry. Right, if I sign in now, I should get an error saying that it can't connect to iMessage and it won't set up properly. This is before I've run the enabler, just to get that one out there. So just to make sure that you didn't miss that, the two files there aren't used right now, they're going to be used in a minute, so just to make sure that you didn't miss anything of that. So you can see there that it says could not sign in, please check your network connection and try again. Even though I have a working network connection perfectly fine in this VM. So if I go to not now and skip and just get rid of iMessage and open up the DMG, in this window here, you should have a package called iMessage Enabler. So just open that. Oh, sorry, I've got Gatekeeper on, hang on. Right, let's try that again. It should open in installer. So just continue. You'll have the README inside, obviously, and there's also a README in the download, which you should make sure to read through because it will tell you, how it works and what happens and what you should be be careful of when you're doing it. So if I just continue and install it on the disk that I'm using, it will then install, and after that you want to shut down your VM. So just close it straight down using the main Mac menu. Don't just force it off or anything. And then you want to close VMware, and then you want to copy these two files here into the same folder as your VMX that you're using, and the virtual machine you're using, and double click on the VMX enable file and type in the name of the VMX file that you're gonna need changing. So 10.8 So that references that file there, which is the VMX file of the VM. So press enter and it will change it. So you can see it was edited on 424. And then just open it back up again and power it back on. And you'll probably get that message, just ignore that, it's not important. And this time you will probably get a little black screen at the start of the boot, but that's nothing to worry about. That's just because of the way it's working now, because of the modified bootloader. And you will then get the typical Apple screen and just wait for it to boot up. And so at this point in time, as with the latest version of my VMware images, if you do use the iMessage fix, VMware Tools won't work properly. I'm currently working on a fix for this, but obviously VMware Tools is closed, so I can't really, do it quickly. So I'm still looking into that. If you do want to disable the VMX iMessage enabler, you can all just run the the disable command from the same, the same folder, and it will ask you basically the same thing as the first one. And after running that, it will basically just fix everything. There's no need to remove the files that were installed inside the VM. If you get the setup assistant for the keyboard, just go through with it and it will detect your keyboard. The reason for that is obviously the way the VMX is patched, it has to change the way the keyboard is used by the VM, otherwise it won't be detected properly because of the bootloader. So if we go back to iMessage and I try connect again, it should just sign me in. And there we go. So you can see that it's actually just got rid of the thing. And to make sure that it has signed me in, if I go to accounts, you'll see my account name there and it will be enabled. If you try sign in, make sure that it does say enabled here, because at some points it will let you sign in, but it will be disabled because of not having run the fix. So make sure that you run the fix properly, and if you have run the fix properly, it will be enabled. So I can now iMessage whoever. I don't actually use iMessage, but I could, if I wanted to, I could send an iMessage to someone. So there you go. That's how it works. Obviously, I haven't tested this on anything above 10.8.2 because that's what's out currently. I know the 10.8.3 beta came out yesterday, but in theory, it should work with any OS X Mountain Lion build that comes out. It won't work if you run it on Lion because obviously Messages is meant for Mountain Lion. And if you have any problems, don't hesitate to leave a comment. It should work, pretty much perfectly. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't work. There's a couple of things I might add to it in future, but at the minute it's as good as it needs to be. So, and also I would recommend that if you run the iMessage enabler, you should take a snapshot of your VM to start with, because it's a possibility that it'll break. Taking a snapshot is really not that important though, because you can just disable the VMX. I'll show you how to do that now. So if I close down my VM again and just run the disable, again we just type in OS X 10.8 Mountain Lion, and then it will ask you which version of VMware you're using, because of something it has to change with the guest, which is dependent on which version you're using, and I'm just going to put 9. So it will then change it back to what it was to start with. And if I run it again, I'm not going to boot into it properly. I'll just show you that it disables the way it booted last time. So if I start it up again, it should go straight to the Apple, which it does, instead of having the little black screen. So if it's booting like that with just the Apple, you know that the iMessage isn't going to be enabled, and it's basically what it was right when you started. So that's all there is to say. I think it's fairly obvious, what you need to do if you just follow the video properly. As I said, make sure you read the README. If you have any questions, just leave a comment or email me or leave a comment on the blog or something like that. So yeah, hopefully this is useful to you. I know that a lot of people were complaining about iMessage, and then even when I put it on my latest build, they were talking about using it on their own custom builds and various random stuff that's kind of strange, but whatever. I just figured I'd make this installer to make it a lot easier for you. As I said, people that are actually on a Hackintosh Mac and have it natively installed, make sure you back up your system first, because anything can go wrong when you mess with bootloaders, as I'm sure you're aware. So just make sure that you keep that in mind. And yeah, apart from that, there's nothing else to say. So subscribe to my channel. More stuff's going to come in future, hopefully more often, because I have Wednesdays off now, so I can use it as a day to record stuff. And yeah, so as I said earlier, 10.8.3 beta has just come out, so that means the 10.8.3 build will be up as soon as it does come out, the actual retail version, which should be fairly soon. There's also a VirtualBox image that's been made, but I'm waiting for 10.8.3 so it's up to date, because I currently have a 10.8 one, which is not as useful. So yeah, so we'll just wait for 10.8.3. And yeah, so apart from that, remember to subscribe. As I said, any comments, any questions, just leave them in the comments. Any problems, just leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and yeah, hope this video was helpful. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.